The most difficult thing to conquer in business and in your life is yourself. Yeah. Hello. Okay, when you think of the great big world out there, you should think, how can I add value to that? How can I make my life matter? What defines a person, what makes them unique, is not their struggles. Everyone's going through the same struggles. What makes you unique is what you do with those struggles after. You feel you've already accomplished a lot, meaning you come in with that presence. Does that mean you have? Yes, it does. Just focus on the little things that you have done. It doesn't have to be the big things. You don't have to be a star to say you've accomplished something. You can walk, you can talk. You've accomplished something. Start there. You feel and act confident now because of it when you walk in? Employers think you could be a really good fit for this job. Not so much for your skill set, but man, you got a great attitude. All these other people I work with all day, they don't. And frankly, I'm tired of it. I want to hire someone who comes in with some energy and a big smile every day. And FYI, the reason why I'm qualified to come up here and talk to you about getting hired and changing your life, every single interview I've ever gone on in my life, I've been hired. Boom, right on the spot. With or without experience. With or without a resume. Even though the rules were, you must apply online, do not show up at our door, pretty much don't do what you just did. Walked in and took that job. Why? Because I wanted it and I believed it was mine. Okay? Before I could give you the right skill set, you must have the right mindset. Yes. It's that metaphor, crabs in a bucket. Right? You put all the crabs in a bucket, what do? They climb on top of each other, blah, 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 all trying to get out, right? And then one of them claws the top. Then what happens? The other crabs don't just hang on to him. They pull his ass down. They could have just climbed right up him one at a time and then handed up. Let's go! We're out! Woo! They don't. Why? They don't have the correct mindset. You got it. They're all about, what's in it for me? Screw you, big fat world. Rather than what you're saying. I want to serve y'all. Let's get out together. I have to show up. You have to show up every day of your life. When I say show up, I don't mean just in the physical sense. I mean show up with your presence, your posture, your confidence, your belief in yourself and where you're going. I really do have a lot going for me. You believe that? Cool. Guess what? You're breathing, right? You're being educated right now. And you live in the wealthiest country on the planet. And you didn't choose that. That was a blessing. Straight up gift. Yes! We're going to close on this. I opened with the most difficult thing in business and in your life to conquer is yourself. So this one time I was with, I had a startup company and we were looking to raise some outside money from investors. So we land this investor meeting. We're pretty excited about it. They won't book it for at least a few weeks. You don't want to be late, right, for the investor. That says something about you being irresponsible, yeah? So I take all these zigzag side roads and the New York driver in me comes out, all that. And I get there, we end up being like 3 minutes early. Exactly, right? I walk in, I'm like, yes, Joseph Warren, we're here to see so-and-so. Oh, he's not here yet. I'm like, okay, cool. So I guess he'll be in a few minutes. Yeah, you should be right here. Great. Okay, have a seat. Okay, thank you. Sit in the lobby, blah, 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 blah. 15 minutes go by. He's 15 minutes late. The wife is there. It was a husband and wife investor team. Wife is there. She's sweet as candy. He finally shows up. At this point, I went from me feeling like I'm gonna be late, blah, 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 to being very annoyed with this individual for not respecting my time now. See how quick egos turn around? Interesting. And I say, he walks in and he's like, I was like, nice to meet you, Joseph Warren. And he goes, yeah, come on. Right? With his phone. And I was like, oh. You know that feeling, right? Oh. You just want to like, do the Karate Kid on him or something. Right? So that happens. And so we sit down in the meeting and then I get started with the presentation and everything. And he's sitting across the table and his wife is right there. And she's listening. And there's like 6 or 7 of their colleagues there all listening. And he's on his phone doing this the whole time. Not looking, right? Just like this. And I'm just like, oh man. And that starts to get to me after a while because now, I grew up in New York and we're a little, brittle. And, now you're disrespecting me. I'm giving my heart and soul up here and you're texting. Then he takes a call, right? And he says, excuse me a second. And he steps out and he's out for like 5 minutes go by. And she's like, you can continue. And I was like, actually, he's part of the decision, right? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, well, I'd rather wait till he comes back then. And she was like, okay. So tick tock. And I'm just like, fuming. Wouldn't you? So then comes back in. He sits down. I was like, you ready? And he's like, yeah, go ahead. And I'm just like, I hit. Red. And I was like, you know what? We're at this big conference table. I'm like, you know what? Honestly, we could come back if this is not a good time for you. Yeah, you obviously have better things to do. This is important to us. We're here. We schedule a lot of time. We booked this 2 weeks ago. And honestly, I would just ask for a little respect. Or, again, no hard feelings, but let's reschedule. How's that sound? The number one most difficult thing to conquer in business or in life is yourself. Got it? Did I finish on the buzzer?